Level 1. You see what others miss. You're sitting in a room full of people. Everyone is laughing, but you're watching. You notice the guy in the corner who laughed half a second after everyone else. He didn't find it funny. He found it safe. You notice the woman who touched her neck when she said she was fine. She wasn't fine. You notice the host checking his phone every 4 minutes. Not bored. Anxious. Waiting for something. No one else sees any of this. They're just living. You're cataloging. This is where it starts. Not with a choice. With a brain that won't shut off. Most people walk through life like it's a hallway. They go from room to room without thinking. You walk through life like it's a crime scene. Everything is a clue. Everything means something. And at first, it feels like a superpower. Level 2. You start to read people like code. You're at work now. Your manager calls a meeting. Says everything is great. Says the team is doing amazing. But you watch his eyes move to the upper left when he says it. Constructed thought. Not memory. He's not recalling something true. He's building something false. You don't say anything. You update your resume that same night. 3 weeks later, layoffs. You were the only one who wasn't surprised. Your friends start to notice. They call you perceptive, insightful, wise. But what they don't see is the cost. You can't watch a movie without predicting the ending in the first 10 minutes. You can't have a conversation without mentally mapping the other person's agenda. You can't turn it off. Your brain is a machine that was never given an off switch. And machines that never stop running overheat. Level 3. The gift becomes a weight. You're on a date. They smile at you. Say you're different. Say they've never met someone like you. And you want to believe them. But you notice the slight upward curve on only one side of the mouth. A genuine smile uses both sides. Equally. This one is practiced. You smile back. You go home and sit in the dark for an hour. Not because you're sad. Because being right all the time is one of the loneliest feelings in the world. You start to pull back from people. Not out of arrogance. Out of exhaustion. Every conversation is a puzzle you can't stop solving. Every relationship is a system you're already 2 steps ahead of. You stop going to parties. You stop answering calls you don't need to answer. You build a smaller world. Because the bigger world is too loud. Too transparent. Too predictable. Level 4. You see the systems. You're not just reading people anymore. You're reading rooms. Organizations. Entire social structures. You walk into a company, and within an hour you can tell who has real power and who just has a title. They're almost never the same person. You can tell which friendships are transactional. Which marriages are contracts. Which leaders are performing confidence they don't feel. You see the architecture underneath everything. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. The news stops feeling like information. It starts feeling like theater. Scripted. Produced. Designed to direct attention away from something else. You start researching. Pulling threads. And every thread you pull leads somewhere darker. This is the point most people would stop. You don't stop. You go deeper. Because your brain doesn't know how to do anything else. Level 5. The isolation gets serious. You try to explain what you see to someone you trust. A close friend. Someone who's known you for years. You lay it out carefully. Calmly. With evidence. They look at you the way people look at someone standing too close to the edge of something. Concerned. Careful. They say you're overthinking. They say you need to relax. They say maybe you should talk to someone. And you realize the gap between you and the people around you is no longer something you can bridge with conversation. You've seen too much. Thought too deeply. Gone too far down. You stop trying to explain. You start keeping journals instead. Pages and pages of observations. Patterns. Connections. Your handwriting gets smaller as the months go by. Tighter. More compressed. Like your thoughts are running out of room. Level 6. You weaponize the awareness. Here's where it gets dangerous. Because awareness, on its own, is just observation. But awareness combined with pain becomes something else. You start using what you know. At work, you understand exactly what your boss needs to hear to feel validated. You say it. You get promoted. In relationships, you know exactly which words will make someone feel seen. You use them strategically. You become magnetic, persuasive, untouchable. People are drawn to you without understanding why. And you give them just enough. Just enough warmth to keep them close. Just enough distance to keep them wanting more. You tell yourself this is just self-preservation. But somewhere in the back of your mind, you know what you're really doing. You're playing a game. And you're very, very good at it. Level 7. The mirror moment. One night, late, you're sitting alone. No phone. No screen. No noise. and you catch your own reflection in a dark window. And you look at yourself the way you look at everyone else. Analytically, coldly. And for the first time, you turn the awareness inward. You start to see your own patterns. The way you push people away before they can leave. The way you perform confidence when you feel nothing. The way you analyze instead of feel, because feeling stopped feeling safe a long time ago. You see the avoidance dressed up as intelligence. The loneliness dressed up as preference. The fear dressed up as awareness. And it hits you. You've been so busy reading everyone else's story that you forgot you were in one too. Level 8. The cost no one talks about. The research is there. Hyper-awareness, left unmanaged, is linked to chronic anxiety. Your nervous system is always scanning for threats, even when there are none. You live in a state of low-level surveillance. Always watching, always assessing, never resting. Your sleep suffers, not because you can't fall asleep, but because your brain keeps running scenarios while you're supposed to be unconscious. You wake up tired. You go through the day tired. And still, you can't stop noticing things. The coworker who's about to quit before they know it themselves. The couple at the restaurant who won't be together in 6 months. The politician on the screen who's lying about something specific, not everything, just one thing, and you know exactly what it is. You're never wrong. And being never wrong, in a world full of people who aren't ready for the truth, is a very specific kind of prison. Level 9. The fork in the road. This is where your story splits. There are 2 types of people who reach this level. The first type collapses inward. The awareness becomes paranoia. Every look is a threat. Every silence is a message. Every pattern is a conspiracy. They build walls so high that nothing gets in. Not danger. Not love either. They become brilliant. And completely alone. The second type does something harder. They learn to hold the awareness without being consumed by it. They find one, maybe 2 people who can actually meet them at their level. Not people who understand everything they see, but people who can sit with them in the weight of it. They learn to feel without immediately analyzing the feeling. They learn that being right is not the same as being connected. That intelligence without warmth is just a cold room with good lighting. They start to choose presence over perception. Not all the time, but enough. Final level, level 10, what awareness was always for. Here's the truth that no one tells you at the beginning. Hyper-awareness is not a flaw. It's not a disorder. In its purest form, it's one of the rarest human abilities. The capacity to truly see. But it was never meant to be used as armor. It was never meant to be a weapon. It was never meant to be a wall between you and the rest of the world. It was meant to be a bridge. The most dangerous version of you is the one who sees everything and feels nothing. The most powerful version of you is the one who sees everything and chooses compassion anyway. Who looks at a room full of people performing happiness, and instead of cataloging the performance, asks why. Who looks at someone lying, and instead of winning the conversation, wonders what made honesty feel so unsafe for them. Who looks in the mirror and, instead of analyzing, forgives. You notice things other people don't. You always have. And if you can stop running from what that costs you, if you can stop using it to stay above everyone and start using it to understand them, then that gift becomes something rare. Something almost no one gets to be. Genuinely, deeply, dangerously human. The awareness was never the problem. What you chose to do with it, that was always the question. And now you know the answer.